What issue did you write about and why is that issue important to you?
So I wrote about sexual assault against not one gender in particular, just people altogether. And I wrote that because I wanted to help people understand what people go through and how it affects people around them. And I want them to understand like what things help and how they're thinking, their mindset.
Yeah, I wrote about domestic violence towards women and children. And that was just because, we see the statistics everywhere. Like 1 in 3 women has experienced domestic violence at the hands of a close spouse. And 100% of women are or know someone who has experienced that. And it's such a central issue to society today, and something needs to be done about that.
I think I just want people to be aware. Like, I wasn't aware of how many people had this happen to them until I started researching. And yeah, like, as she said, like it's like 1 in 3 women had that happen to them, and it's crazy. Like, it's shocking.
I think with domestic violence, there is a lot of coverage and there is a lot of awareness, and we all sport white ribbons once a year, but I don't think that's enough. You can say that you support the cause and then you can actually do something about it, and that's what we're lacking. And I think a change would be for politicians, for people involved in legal sectors, to take a step back and realize that a slap on the wrist isn't enough to deter these people from committing such violent offences, and that there needs to be more in place to stop people offending and re-offending. And also to just change the social perception of victims and perpetrators of violence alike. And I think that's what we're striving to achieve.
One thing I noticed, I learned while I was writing a poem, that people that have things like this happen to them, they don't want pity about it. Like, they don't want people to pat them on the back and tell them everything's going to be okay. Like, they want something done about it, even if they don't want to admit it. And they don't want to get someone else in trouble, because that's how they're thinking. They don't want anyone to get in trouble because they're blaming it on themselves. But they do want something to happen. Like, they want something to be changed so that they can feel accomplished. And when I finished this poem, I felt accomplished because I felt like I'd done something to help someone and make people, my family read this and they were like, wow, I did not know that. And, yeah.
And how did that make you feel to have your family respond like that?
Yeah, I was like, well, then it's helping, because they figured they know now. And so they know if they go on social media all the time, if they read a case like that, they can go, well, yeah, something does need to be done.
Yeah, well, I think I was always quite passionate about, increasing gender equality, reducing the disparity and the power imbalances between men and women in the workplace, in the home. And I think being selected to come here just shows that other people are too, and that it's not just an individual, it's not just me trying to advocate this crazy idea. It's something that everyone wants to get involved in, and I think that really people are willing to change and people are willing to improve, and I think that's just really inspiring.
Like we said, the social media shows all the bad points of something, and they tell you what's been done. Like, someone's gotten a sentence for a couple of months, or they've gotten a good sentence and they've gone and earned it, but then they earn years off, and it just gets shorter and shorter until it's not even a consequence anymore because they're only in there for a little while and then they can get back out. And then if they do it again, the sentence doesn't get any worse. And something I want to see change is them not even saying this in like a rude way, but like getting what they deserve, because what they're getting at the moment isn't what they deserve. Like, I've heard of people being just let off on house patrol, like they get watched and they get visited, or they have an ankle bracelet, but that's not really enough because they're still there and they don't really change. Like, it's you can change, but it's hard to change. And you know, it would help them to change if they had enough time to know what they've done. And even if it's not just jail, like people go in there. I know people that have gone to jail and they've come out and they've done the exact same thing. So that doesn't help. They're going in there and then they go in there again and it's the same thing, and they just put up with it and then get out and then do it again and again and over and over. And it's not helping. Like, I don't know what else they can do, but they need to think of something. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think the harshness and the seriousness, the violent nature of sexual and domestic violence offences, the crippling, debilitating nature, like the crippling results of that on the victims isn't reflected in the lack of severity in the punishments. And I think definitely laws need to change, but also support services for those affected by domestic violence, sexual assault. That needs to improve. It needs to be more accessible. People need to be more aware of it, because it doesn't matter what you do after the crime, it's still been committed and nothing's going to take that back.
Yeah, you've still done it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one that wrote about something like this, because like the other entries are like about saving Earth and things like that and helping nature, but like doing all that, it's not really doing anything if you don't fix problems like this, because even though you're living in a healthy place and like people are living longer and you know you're just healthy, like people are still doing this. That's might have helped a little bit, but it's not going to affect a lot in this situation. And yeah, I was like, wow, whoever someone else has written about this, it's not just me being like crazy stupid.
Yeah, just the fact that so many more people, just someone else feels the same way. It's just, it's inspiring, reassuring that this isn't just some crazy thing that's fallen through the cracks.
So my English teacher came in one day and she collected a group of people and she told us that we were selected out of our grade to enter in a competition, and we were like, oh well, wow. So, and she gave us all these warm-ups, like she would ask us questions: what matters to you in your environment, like who matters to you, what do you like to do. And one of the things that came up the most in all those questions she asked me was people's safety. And I was like, well, I'll do that then. It was actually really difficult to write what I wrote, because I think in my English book I have over just 10 different poems that I wrote, and I was like, no, I don't like that one. And I'd just write it over and over again. I don't like that one either. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. And then I got to the point where it was nearly entry time and I was like, well, I really need something. And I sat there at lunch and I had my school iPad and I just wrote, and I was like, that's actually sort of good. And I was proud of myself because everyone had been working on all this for weeks, like weeks on end. And I just sat there in a couple of hours and I didn't have teachers' help, and I edited it all myself, and I typed it up in my document. I printed it out and I gave it to my English teacher, and I was like, "Is this okay?" And and then she takes it and she gives it all to the teachers to read, and they come back and they're like, "Wow!" And I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, my English teacher just one day emailed me and she was like, "Emily, this looks like it would be perfect for you." And I was like, yeah, this is amazing. You're always open to these things. And then I had no idea what to write about though. I had no idea, wanted to be something impactful, something I'm passionate about. And we were sitting in legal studies class one day, and my teacher, he was talking about how lax the laws are for people who continuously, repetitively, like assault women and children. And I was just so angry, just fuming. And I walked out of class and I sat down in an hour or two and wrote 600 words. And I said, it was so raw. It was just so genuine. And I was like, I'm proud of this. And I talked to my English teacher and she gave me the thumbs up. So I sent it in. Yeah, it was really confronting and it was really hard to read over, but I thought it was definitely worth.
Yeah, and now I've written my poem, I was proud of it, but now it's been like a couple of months and I'm reading it again and I'm like, I don't like it, but I never do. Like, I never like my own work after I've written it, but it's good, like, and it puts a point across, but that's just me with everything. I don't like any of my artwork and I don't like any of my writing, so it's just me. I guess
you liked it for a little while.
Yeah, I did like it for a little while because I was reading it every day and I was going over it and I was like, well, yeah, that's good.
Just if this opportunity, if getting people to read my work and all the other finalists' work, if that changes one person's mind, and if that helps the world in one little way, then this will definitely be a worthwhile use of our time. I'm really grateful that we have this opportunity, so thank you.
Yeah.